Yesterday was Weak Hero Wednesday on the stream, and I was playing some of the lower win rate heroes. It happened to be Countess, and you know what? I had a lot of fun playing her. This deck is beginner friendly. I thought I would share and do a hero deck and guide. Amazon is the tried and true way of shopping for anything you need or want at the lowest prices. Support the channel at no cost to you by doing your Amazon shopping through the link in the video description. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a Paragon Guide. I am Sylphin. Like always, we start off with the deck. If you are in the solo lane, which was really rough, but you can do it, Advanced Evolution for the sustain, or in the mid lane of course, is there for you, as well as Rejuvenator. Font of Experience, fantastic card as Countess deals a lot of damage through her upgraded abilities, which is exactly what it gives you. Mana Flow Acolyte is there if you are ahead and you just want to continue to grow your maximum mana and mana pool so you can stay out on the battlefield, use more abilities, assassinate more targets. Astral Leap, fantastic if the enemy team has really good engage. And you know what? Countess suffers from no escapes. And until you get Shadow Dancer, which provides you some escape ability as well, Astral Leap is really, really good. Situational, and you can get it. Invader Mage, tremendous early game damage if you need it. If you're behind and you want to start your assassination train, you can do that. Power Tap, amazing card for the end game when you are max build and you just want more power to do what Countess does well. Finder Playthings is a card I threw in here. It can provide you with vision, maybe in the higher MMRs, higher skill games. This will become more and more useful as you can get some vision for the enemy team, especially when there's a Kalari and Assassin, which was one of my games. It really, really sucked. Thaumaturge is here again if you are super ahead and you just want to put this on. Every time you hit an enemy hero, you can get maximum mana. Provides you really good late game. So if you want to take that chance, you can definitely do it. Atomic Soldier, huge on Countess, 15 power, max mana, and increase ability damage by 10%. This is the late game card for her. Sleeper Agent is insane, as not only does it silence the enemy target for 3 seconds, also increases their the damage that they take by 15% plus power and mana. We'll explain more when we get into the match, but this is fantastic for Countess because Shadow Dancer is a bust on her. It's amazing. Power, basic armor. Basic armor doesn't do too much, but it does provide you some sustain. It enters the shadow plane every 35 seconds and gain 10% move speed for 10 seconds. When you attack an enemy from the shadow plane, it just provides a movement speed slow for a little bit. Shadow Dancer is incredible on Countess. Using it properly, people can't leave base because they are scared of you, and it's tremendous. So that is the deck, ladies and gentlemen, as well as the gems. Quick exit, just so you can back on the battlefield farm. She really needs that, and so that you can assassinate targets. Onslaught, so you can continuously use your ultimate. It's absolutely insane. Deadly Mana to increase her mana. You'll notice that there's a few mana things in here because she needs it. She needs a mana to do her abilities, so you can actually, assassinate targets, because running out of mana on Countess makes her pretty much irrelevant. Mana Fountain, again for mana. Spell Shield to block enemies' attacks so that you can't get, immediately stunned and then completely destroyed. And of course, overpowered spells. 20% bonus damage on top of all of this damage. Nuts. So you pick Countess because you have good frontline, you have a good jungler, you have a good solo laner, and maybe your support is melee as well, and you want to delete the enemy hero. They have a couple squishy heroes. That is why you pick Countess. In the solo lane, it's really rough. Usually there's another sustain hero, and you can kind of just get poked out, and it is really hard. Mid lane is where she would be best, but in this case, we have a Gideon. He's going to be pretty tough to deal with. So that is why I went for Advanced Evolution first, just so that when we level up here, we can get some sustain, as he's going to start poking me down tremendously. And playing it safe, you can see that I am letting this push into my tower, getting close so that I can be a little bit safer, but I mean, really, the Gideon does a good job anyways of poking me down. And as you can see, we're very, very squishy. So those basic attacks right there, I should not have let him do that, as well as dodging his Void Breach. So play very, very safe. You need time to build up and farm, stay safe. That is the theme in the beginning. With that said, we want to start with Shadow Slip, which is the first ability up there that you can see. Basically, you can target a enemy minion or hero to teleport to them and just teleport back to your original position. As you can see, I'm trying to dodge this Gideon, but eventually I die. So too aggressive here. You need to play safe. Why do we pick Shadow Slip first? It is our pseudo escape ability. You teleport from your original position, and then you can run around and force them to either follow you or try to stay at your original position because they think that you'll teleport back. That is your escape tool. It's not the greatest, but it is what you have to go for. It deals moderate amount of damage and slows the enemy, so that is definitely something to consider. Remember, always be getting your river buffs, as it's really tremendously phenomenal. I try to do some damage here on the Gideon, and I kind of learned later on in this match that I need to pressure him. You need to burst him. You need to burst him with some abilities and then back off, because otherwise they will just out-sustain you. So you try to do your stuff, but unfortunately I tried to be too aggressive, and this is why I'm showing you you cannot be too aggressive. There are times when you should do your thing. I pay for it. The next ability you get is Dark Tide. Usually, I think this is the best to push the wave and also damage the enemy hero. This is your highest damage ability besides your ultimate. What happens is you it sends out a roiling cloud of darkness in front of her in kind of an odd wedgie shape, and then a front, dealing ability damage to all enemies in the area of effect. Huge damage ability for AoE damage as well. This is the one you kind of need to focus on and upgrade the most. That is the one that you get, and then you can get your Blade Sylphin. Active, Countess quickly spins, causing ability damage in a circle around her. It's actually fairly small. The circle is surprisingly small, so you just have to basically use it when you're right on top of somebody. Shadow Slip into your Blade Sylphin happens just like that. It's really instantaneous. There doesn't seem to be like much of an animation after you come out of your teleport. So it's very, very effective if you use your Shadow Slip and then immediately Blade Sylphin, or your ultimate and then Blade Sylphin. It happens pretty much instantaneously, so it's a really good combo that you can use. And again, I'm being way too aggressive here, letting this Gideon poke me down from full health to this. Really wasn't learning this match. You have to play it safe and just sustain, because you need that economy. Another part of Blade Sylphin is the passive, is that when you kill an enemy hero or a minion, you get 10, 15, 20, 25% of the enemy's health, enemy hero's health, or 2, 3, 4, 5% of a minion's health. So there is a sustained component to Countess, and that is why killing enemy heroes and team fight and stuff is really important for her, because she can really snowball quite nicely. When she takes some damage and then she kills an enemy hero, you get some good damage off. You're gonna see my ultimate here, right there, which is what almost kills the Gideon, and then the Serath. Finishes him off, and that is Feast. It's a high damage ability. Countess jumps to a nearby enemy hero, is very, very, very short range, forcing them to look at her and stunning them for 0.75 seconds before dealing ability damage. Countess is locked down for the duration of the attack, so you basically don't end up doing very much. You just basically are stuck there doing your ultimate. And again, too aggressive here as I'm pushing the lane. No vision on the enemy jungler. Play it safe until you are powerful. Feast. The ability damage is absolutely insane. The power scaling is crazy, and the cooldown becomes 60 seconds at level 3, which is why we get Onslaught, so we can just continually attack and reduce that and do Countess's thing more often. So if I was a little bit more smart and I was a little bit more confident in knowing what to do with Countess. I'm not a good Countess player. I could have gone for Font of Experience into Advanced Evolution and get a hero level advantage, which is obviously very important because Countess does a lot of damage with her higher upgraded abilities. But in this scenario, even though I've been taking 2 deaths, 34 farm over the Gideon's 46, I feel confident enough to go for Mana Flow Acolyte, which increases our mana and power every time we buy Intellect. So I'm kind of banking for the late game. She does have mana issues, so you have to be very selective with when you use your ability. As you see here, I went for the Gideon, did my damage, and got out, and now that's forced him to go back. That's pushed him back so that I can actually farm that minion wave and then go and roam on my own. Countess, this is what she does best. Hunts down her targets, targets them, and absolutely destroys them. I have red buff, which increases ability damage even more, and I'm like, I really want this Gideon, but he's smart, and I'm pretty sure he actually knows that I'm just sitting here waiting for him. One thing I want you to see is the range of Shadow Slip. You can see my arms are crossed because I'm like, Shadow Slip! But it's so frustrating. They nerfed the range of her Shadow Slip, and it's annoyingly and obnoxiously short. It absolutely is. So be very, very careful. Know that it has that reduced range because it is so frustratingly short. It's like 50, 100 units too short, in my opinion. And it's just, oh, it's so annoying. So you have to get used to that Shadow Slip range and really have to know when you can step forward and actually engage on an enemy target. The next card I get here is Invader Mage. I'm on my way to Thaumaturge or Atomic Soldier, and right now Invader Mage is really solid. I could get Atomic Soldier here, or Thaumaturge, but I want to keep Mana Flow Acolyte. I'm kind of feeling it out that I'm starting to be smarter, and I will be able to go into the late game. Countess's job is to select high priority targets and take them out. So I go immediately for this Murdoch. As you can see, I do end up taking him out. That is your priority, because when you take out high priority targets that you can actually kill, remember that you get health back for killing them, and you need to really focus on getting those last hits and assassinating their targets, because again, Countess works really well with economy, and I'm actually going to try to attack this Muriel, who is another good target of mine, but I bait out her shields, which is what you want to do, and I do exactly that. I wait for her big shield to come off, and then I do my combo. So you have to feel out when you can do your combo, which is, depending on the hero, a certain order of abilities. Pardon, it's the morning. You can use Shadow Slip into your Blade Sylphin, but if you feel like the enemy is expecting that and they're going to teleport out, what you actually can do is Shadow Slip into your Feast, and then that keeps them rooted so that your Blade Sylphin can happen immediately after your Feast, and they take that damage. They may teleport away, but your Dark Tide is that ranged ability, so you can save that ranged ability. Or you can open up with your Dark Tide if maybe they aren't expecting you, and then when they go, oh crap, there's a Countess, then you Shadow Slip and then do the Feast into Blade Sylphin combo. Just remember that Blade Sylphin combos very well after your Feast or Shadow Slip. So enemy heroes will really try to disrupt your combo, so you just have to feel it out. Which one can I start with? Which one can I lock a target down, and whatnot? There, I don't do it the best, but I do figure that I could have done it, as the Muriel didn't really have anywhere to go. So that time I used Dark Tide into Shadow Slip, and then my Feast. But it's really all up to you in feeling out which ones you need to do. Now we have Shadow Dancer, and this is when we can start really doing our thing as an assassin. Squishy targets, singling them out, and just like this, I happen to have the purple buff, but it's all the same nonetheless. Three-shotting people now that we have some kills under our belt. We have that Mana Flow Acolyte, which gives us a surprising amount of power and mana, by the way, and Shadow Dancer for that great power. We can start assassinating people, and that is what Countess does best. The way that people counter Countess, the way that why she is suffering so much in today's meta is all of the stuns, and people just know to focus her down and shut her down in the early game, and then she can't do this, and enemy heroes get ahead, they get tanky, and then she can't really deal with them. So you have to be very, very careful. When do you engage? Where are those stuns to watch out for? And how can you get your economy going so that you can do your thing? As you can see here, I do choose to trade with this Richter, surprisingly enough, because I do have this Muriel here helping me out. I was full mana. I thought that I could take him out, and we do indeed. Again, here in this engagement, high priority targets using that Shadow Dancer. I focus on the Murdoch, and there is the combo right there that really works the best. Dark Tide into your feast, and then remember your Blade Siphon basically happens instantaneously after your ultimate, basically three-shotting people. That is what Countess provides for your team, and like I said earlier, if you have good frontline, if the enemy team has good amount of squishies, Countess, I think in my opinion, does real well. The really good thing about Shadow Dancer as well is that it provides you with an escape tool. Countess doesn't have very much escape ability besides how she can juke people out with her Shadow Slip. But as you saw just there, Shadow Dancer can come in handy when you need to escape. One amazing thing about Countess is her insane wave clear. One of the, I think literally the fastest wave clear in the game, besides some other heroes that can one-shot minions, but I think Countess literally is the fastest wave clear. Dark Tide at some point can just one-shot minion waves, and definitely Dark Tide into Blade Siphon can do that well. She's a fantastic defender. She can just instantly clear waves or push waves very, 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 very fast. After you get your Shadow Dancer, you're going for Atomic Soldier, which there's a replay bug. Atomic Soldier is here. You eventually replace, you eventually get Atomic Soldier, and then you replace Mana Flow Acolyte with Sleeper Agent. So at this point, your damage potential is out of this world. And what Sleeper Agent actually provides you is counter ability. For this Muriel, for example, in a team fight, I can provide some good utility in silencing her so that she can't do her thing for her friendly team. But I use the silence there, and look at that, three-shot her just like that. So Sleeper Agent on somebody like a Muriel is a perfect way to counter her, which directly counters us. Muriel's the best counter to Countess, in my opinion, besides the enemy Richter, which is on the enemy team, who she can shield from the burst and just do a fantastic job. So Sleeper Agent to silence her. She can't shield anybody, providing you free reigns to completely delete her or somebody else on the enemy team. What it also does is it prevents Gideon from teleporting away or using his abilities, so that when you open up, you can go Sleeper Agent, Dark Tide into your feast, Blade Siphon, and he's absolutely dead. There's nothing he can do. He can't teleport away because he's silenced. And with Sleeper Agent, you can do other things as well against a Wukong, who is very meta right now. Silence him. He can't do anything. Boom, Dark Tide into feast, into Blade Siphon, and he's dead. People like even the Richter here, if he happens to be the only one you're engaging on, silence, so he can't silence you, stuff like that. So it's just a phenomenal way for Countess to keep doing her thing. And as you can see, you're just going to town on high priority squishy targets, just like I am here. Now, if your game happens to go insanely long with really high economy, get 7 agility, because at the tier 7 vitality spot there is 4.9 power. It's only 4.9 power, but you get some health along the way, which really obviously helps with a squishy hero like Countess, and that power just feeds into your damage even more. After that, save your gold to get power tap. That's why we get power tap here. I mean, if you really need that health, continue going into vitality, but I mean, with Shadow Dancer and Sleeper Agent, you have the tools necessary to kind of take care of yourself. And once you get good with Shadow Slip, you can really juke people out. Go for power tap to get 15 power every 4,000 gold. It's incredible. So your ability to delete people is unprecedented. So that is what Countess does. Hopefully you guys appreciate the deck and guide. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Patreon allows creators to offer their fans a way of supporting them and what they do. With flexible and painless payment options, anyone can support their creator for as little as $1 a month. If you would like to help me do what I love, check out the link in the video description to learn more. Please like this video if you like it, dislike it, share it with the community, of course. Guys, subscribe. Guys, like this content, especially if you found it useful. Please subscribe so I can do it for you in the future. Please check the video description for links to my website, merchandise store, and Amazon affiliate links, as well as all my social media here. I'd like to give a huge thanks to all my Patreon supporters, my Twitch subscribers, and my YouTube sponsors for making these videos possible. Until next time, like always, stay optimistic and positive.